Hey folks, today I want to walk you through Pear. Pear is a web tool that allows me to take great presentations and make them even more interactive, whether I'm face to face or remote. First, I'm going to take a look at the extension that can be added to Google Slides. By visiting the Chrome store, you can integrate Pear directly into your Google Slides. Once you've created a Google slide deck, now you can begin to make it more interactive with the Pear features on this toolbar on the right-hand side. I have 6 different question types that I can add directly into Pear. First is the text questions. Second is multiple choice, a numeric response, a website, which is great for app smashing and integrating different tools into Pear, the draw feature, and the draggable feature. New this fall is the audio feature, which allows me to directly record my voice and embed sound clips onto Pear. You'll notice here that we have a variety of library templates to select. So here you can see that there are before, during, and end of lesson slides that easily can be integrated with the click of a button. There are also critical thinking questions as well as social and emotional questions. These question types are great for mood reading or for understanding where your students are coming from at the start, in the middle, or even at the end of a lesson. For more specific subject areas, you can even look at different subjects, find different slides that are directly related to your content. What's wonderful about the template library is that Pear is constantly enhancing and adding to this library, which makes using and integrating Pear into our everyday lessons even easier. For even more great Pear features, visiting the peardeck.com website can be really great. So let's take a look at the teacher login. Once you're logged in, you can see that you can integrate pop-up activities, so slides that are pushed out to students immediately, very quickly during a lesson. You can also utilize Pear vocabulary, which the Flashcard Factory is a very popular way to gamify and make vocabulary acquisition even more engaging. Scrolling down here, you can see that it is directly connected with Google Drive, so any slide decks that you've utilized, they're going to be accessible here. You can also explore more with different resources, free decks, blog posts, and other information. Scrolling up to the sessions, you can see that I have a running list of sessions that I've run, which means that I can either reopen those sessions or I can view my student interaction and engagement. By going up to settings, I can determine different types of resources that I utilize with my students. For example, student takeaways is a relatively new feature that allows teachers to publish takeaways or publish all of the student interaction and slides directly to students immediately after the lesson. Once I'm ready to start a lesson, I can press the green Start Lesson button. I don't want to hit Present. Present will just take me through the slide deck. So I'm going to press Start Lesson. I'm going to be prompted to either make this student paced or instructor paced. So asynchronous or synchronous. Once I select a mode, I can begin to push this lesson out to my students. Students will receive a code which can be shared with them directly. You can also paste a link directly into Canvas. Once I'm in the teacher dashboard, I have control over the progression of slides if I'm in teacher-led mode. If I'm in student-paced mode, I'll be able to see where my students are and see their different interactions. Note down here, I can turn on and off student pace mode so I can give them freedom even during a live lesson to move at their own pace. I can show responses to my students. So when I have students live in my lesson, there'll be an additional option where I can set a timer so students know that the screen will lock after 30 seconds or 60 seconds. As I progress through this experience with my students, I can determine when I want to end the lesson. I can name that lesson, and then I'll be able to re-access that lesson later, as well as reopen it at a later time so that I can continue the learning experience with my students. Remember, those sessions are all recorded right here, which can then be reopened, renamed, and archived when we're done with the lesson. I also can determine when to apply the takeaways. Note that takeaways can only be submitted once or sent to students once, so you really want to make sure that you're done with the lesson before you send those takeaways. Takeaways save into students' Google Drive, so they'll have a folder in which all of their takeaways will go into so they can utilize those notes and that information from the lesson at a later time. Pear Deck is a great way to enhance what's already working in your classroom. It's a great way to collaborate and work with students in many different settings. So start small, add a slide or two, and play around with Pear Deck today.